Well, let me tell you something, brother.
Snort, snort, snort.
Hogan. Drip.
Snort, snort.
I got the drip. Go. You know what? I want to get something out of the way right now. All right? So, the good news is I got paid by YouTube today.
I'm honestly surprised that he even got on stream and told everybody that he got paid by YouTube. So I guess big ups for that. Because honestly, I expected him to do the scummy thing and just never bring it up again after he got paid. But I'd also like to immediately take back the big ups because he's just going to use it to do another begment. So you don't get any props for that. Sometimes God giveth and sometimes he taketh away. And if it's good enough for him, it's good enough for me.
So, the whole worrying about, oh no, I don't have money to pay bills and stuff is over. The money's here. In fact, this morning I scheduled a ton of bills to get paid because it was here. We're good. For the rest of the month, please support my streams however you like.
So there's no worry that he's not going to be able to pay his bills, but he's still going to beg. You might as well have not mentioned it at all and just let people continue to support you however they wanted to. And it just rubs me the wrong way that he, gives people permission to support however they want. It was never up to you, bozo. People are going to support you however they want if they choose to support you. It's really not up to you. I honestly don't know why they would even bother tipping you because you get actually nothing out of that. At least if you become a member or something, there's some perks that come with it. But there's actually zero reward for tipping you at all. It's literally just giving you free money. And that's all you want. You don't want to give anybody any sort of benefit to them giving you money. You just want free money.
Whether that would be a membership or a gifted membership to help the community. As you saw, we lost a lot of members this month, about 150, because we were over 650 and then we dipped down to below 500.
And if you haven't heard me say it before, you can hear me say it now. Him hitting 600 and even 500 is absurd. I think a more appropriate number of memberships for his channel is about 200, 250, maybe even 300, but anything higher than that it's just padding. It's fake. It's artificial growth. I don't even know why he supports this delusion that he's bigger than he is by artificially inflating his numbers like this. To me, this is akin to being view-botted. If you know the numbers aren't legitimate and they're just hyperinflated because of X reason, they don't actually mean anything and they're pointless to even have. Aside from, of course, the money, and that's all he really cares about. It's not about actually growing a community. It's not actually about putting out quality content that people want to see. It's not about creating an atmosphere that people want to be a part of. It's all about the money. So he doesn't care if those numbers are artificially inflated because all he sees is dollar signs.
So that would be a great way to support. Super chat, super stickers, much appreciated. Tips, of course they're appreciated. Tips are, what I use to pay day-to-day stuff. What I'll use to get groceries later this week and stuff like that.
The amount of money that this guy can spend is absolutely ludicrous. To think that his YouTube paycheck that comes in with, 400 to 500 memberships on it and all of his ad revenue combined only pays his bare necessity bills is quite wild. And when he talks about tips, he describes them as for his everyday spending. I mean, that's literally what he just said right now. Why are you spending money every single day if you're not leaving the house? What are you possibly spending money on when you're at home all day long? You should be making your own meals via cooking and you're not going anywhere, so it's not even gas money. Video games don't even come out every single day, so what are you spending your money on, DSP? Do you want to explain to us what everyday spending is? You also claim that you only order DoorDash on your day off, which would be once a week. And if you want to give the benefit of the doubt to the DSP and just say he was using it as a phrase, okay, that's fine. But given what the internet's perception of him and his begging is, you would think that he'd be more careful with the words that he says. Because even if he didn't mean it, I honestly think that it's accurate. He's obviously spending money every single day on Hogan's. Because if you don't know, it just came out yesterday via TJ Gamebox that he spent another $1,200 on WWE Champions overnight. How do you spend $1,200 in one sitting on a mobile game? If you ask me, any amount of money on a mobile game is not okay. It's always a scam. But $1,200 is absurd. It doesn't make sense to me why the Dents would continue to support his habit like this, but they don't care. I don't think I'll ever understand why the Dents give him money at all, and every time I ask them, they never really respond.
But the thing is, now that I got paid after this delay by YouTube, now I don't have to talk about it anymore. You guys are free to support however you want. Thank you in advance to anyone who supports in any way. Really appreciate that. The one thing I would say is I am still trying to hit the tier 1 tips goal every stream, especially with these new releases. It'd be nice if I could do that. It would help a lot. It would keep everything going. I wouldn't have any concerns, basically.
Again, they don't need your permission on how they're gonna support you. But I guess thanks for giving them the permission, whatever that's worth. And he brings up the tier 1 tips goal and says that he wants to hit it especially because of the new games. You want to hit the tier 1 tips goal regardless of what game you're playing, DSP. So again, why would you even mention the new games like it means anything special? The game that you're playing does not affect how much money that you expect to get. You still want as much money as possible, at the minimum $50 every single stream. And even then, sometimes that's not good enough, because there was a couple days in a row, not that long ago, he hit the $50 tips goal every single stream. And he was like, okay, guys, I wanted to hit the tier 1 tips goal, but not like only the tier 1 tips goal. We can't just hit $50. So why don't you just tell him what you actually want, DSP? Just tell him that you want all of their money whenever possible. There's no tips goal, just all of it all the time. I think that if it were possible, DSP would be 100% okay with getting funds directly deposited into his bank account via his whales places of business and work. And he would see no moral qualms with that. He would just accept it and be okay with basically garnishing other people's wages for doing nothing.
So, yeah, if we can do that, that'd be stupendous. Every once in a while, you'll hear me mention contributions, but not often. I mention it like once on the pre-stream / podcast, and then maybe like, every once in a while on the live stream.
If you have to justify your begging every single day in a huge segment, I think that you do it too much, and you know that. Or else, why would you sit here and justify it? No one has ever had to say that they don't do something too much if they didn't subconsciously think that they might be doing it too much. And if you ask me, I think there's a fine line between just letting people know that they can support you and you would greatly appreciate it, and what DSP does, like just blatant begging every single day, multiple times a day. Hey guys, I need to pay my bills. Please support if you can. I'd really appreciate it. While they might be the same words, just the way that he does it, the style that he does it in is just too much. It just is definitely begging, and it's unacceptable.
But you have to understand that I'm here, twice a day for lengthy streams. If you actually add it up, I'm actually on stream about 8 to 10 hours a day minimum.
Okay, but why would how long you're here for determine how much they support? Not to mention, you said 8 to 10 hours a day. Like, that's not just a normal day for the average person. Oh no, DSP works what would be considered a full-time job hours-wise. But at a normal job, they wouldn't let you show up 20 minutes late every single day. They wouldn't let you stop working just so you could get up and go close the window every 5 minutes because now it's hot, now it's cold, now it's hot. They probably wouldn't be okay with you taking a 20-minute bathroom break so you can sneak gin in and pull Hogan's. And I know I said that DSP works what would be considered a full-time job's hours, but he doesn't work at all. And I'm not saying that about all streamers, just DSP. What DSP does specifically is not work at all because he's not entertaining and he's not interesting and he just doesn't care about his content. There's no work being done. He's sitting on his ass in his pajamas playing video games and being as boring as possible while being as disgusting as possible. And that's when he's even bothering to actually play the video games because he can't play the game and talk at the same time. And don't even get me started on the react stream that he does every Sunday. That's definitely not work because he's not only not playing a video game, but he's barely even reacting to the content he's watching. He's basically just getting paid to watch other people's content for money. And to top it all off, he also streams for less time than most other professional streamers stream. This dude just sucks at his job.
And every once in a while, I'll just mention it on and off. I try not to harp on it. I do very minimal ads on my streams, incredibly minimal. If I do one, it'll be like one scheduled break, if that. Sometimes I don't even do one.
Oh, what a saint you are, DSP, for not taking your one scheduled break. A break from playing video games that you only even play for about 4 hours. You can't be bothered to play video games for 4 hours. I mean, maybe not taking a break would mean something if you worked a full 8-hour shift and actually did any work, but you do neither of those things. So skipping your break actually means nothing to me. You're just a clown.
I don't want you guys to be bombarded with advertisements and asking for stuff.
Doesn't want to bombard you with ads or keep asking you for stuff, but is willing to do this segment multiple times a day instead of just doing a 30-second Raid Shadow Legends ad at the beginning of the stream. Just make that make sense for me, please. Please!
I'm crowdfunding. It's important. It's my income. To mention it as a reminder, it is important to keep that going. Some days, literally, I mention it, and then immediately, oh yeah, I want to help, and then people will contribute. So it has to. It's a necessary evil, as they say.
Since DSP has been consistently misusing words and phrases recently, I did go out of my way again to define what a necessary evil was. And the problem that I take with him using this word by definition is that, unfortunately for him, I don't believe that by giving him money will achieve a better outcome at all. I don't think that possible alternative courses of action or inaction are expected to be worse. I think the world would be better off if he made less money and had to go get a job. I mean, maybe this is an unpopular opinion, but I don't think anyone would be upset if the internet lost an e-beggar. And the reality is it's probably a net positive for the world if DSP just quit begging online, because then his dents could use their disability checks for something that's important that actually matters. But regardless of whether or not the definition of the words is exactly what he wants them to mean, he's still acknowledging that him begging like this at all is evil, and that alone should just be telling enough.
You know, I could have a stream where my entire border is just advertisements. Click here for the referral link. Go check out this product that I'm shilling here. Here's a product placement over here. Go over here. Spend. I don't have any of that.
But all of that would be less intrusive to your content than what you do now, because you actually stop your content to say these beg segments. I don't think anybody would be upset if you replaced your bum-ass border with some ad placements. There's no loss of quality because you don't have your stupid border that I even bother to crop out because it's stupid. I mean, half the time the border doesn't even have anything to do with you. It's just random video game nonsense because you play video games. There's no branding. There's nothing that actually has to do with you as a streamer. It's just generic.
Why? Because I care about my content. I actually want you to enjoy it. I don't want you to sit here being bombarded with shilling and bullshit like a lot of other people who run podcasts and their entire border is a fucking ad. You can tell who's in it because they have passion for what they're doing and who's in it for this because they're fucking greedy.
Again, though, the only difference between the shilling and bullshit that he does and that other streamers do is that his money comes directly out of the wallets of the people who like him instead of companies. DSP would rather take money from his own fans than a multi-million-dollar company, and then act like he's doing the righteous thing. And Mr. lives on an island of one, the island of Phil, doesn't get involved in drama is, of course, sneak dissing content creators again. It's nothing new around here, but it's despicable every single time. DSP, here's an idea, brother. Why don't you quit worrying about other people's money and other people's content? It's none of your business, as you've said before.
So that's why I don't do that, all right? But every once in a while I may have to mention contributions. If you could contribute, thank you in advance. I'll give you a shout out. We got a leaderboard to give people recognition. We got fun holiday animations for contributions coming in, so thank you for that, all right? Okay.
But that's gonna do it for today's video. I know a little more on the simple and basic side. It was just, you know, your standard begment, but it was the conclusion to the YouTube not paying him on time arc where he was absolutely begging for tips and lost a bunch of members. And in case it didn't show in the video, I always personally love tearing into a good begment. But of course, I want to give another big shout out to Snort Hogan for the clip. Always appreciated, brother. And of course, big ups to all of you guys for watching. It is greatly appreciated. Hopefully I'll catch you guys in the next one, but until then, make sure you check out other detractor channels and dive deeper into that Snortex.